been flawless when it comes to their CTF. Those are the two really impressive maps that they were able to take versus XSET.
But then on the other side, XSET, of course, haven't dropped a map anywhere, but in particular have looked good in Keeper, if not the best on Keeper in this tournament. And also hardpoint, fairly flawless as well. Yet to drop anything, but can Gaimin Gladiators change that narrative and show that actually XSET are beatable?
And I will say, even though XSET are flawless when it comes to their hardpoint, their average score differential margin is only a point tally of 6 points. So all of their maps have been tremendously tight. So there may be some opportunities there for Gaimin Gladiators to maybe steal away one of those more respawn-heavy modes. But it all starts first and foremost with this Chalet CTF. And like you said, Gaimin Gladiators, they have been one of the best squads overall in CTF. So what can they do spawning off with the red side first?
And I really feel like Gaimin Gladiators have to get an early start here to give them some confidence. Do not allow XSET to feel like they are just in a full flow state here as we kick things off then, and we're going to have XSET from the blue side.
Lots of battle over towards middle expected. We've seen the pace of these opening breakoffs be essentially as slow as you'd like. Not a lot of utility thrown over into Freezy here. He's just going to hang out, look for information over towards the cave path. Also wants to make sure he's staying safe from incoming nades that are targeted towards his direction. But for the most part, everyone's staying nice and safe, and it is going to be about who sees who first.
GG have spread themselves over the map a little bit more than XSET have. XSET kind of staying towards their house a little bit more, whilst GG trying to take somewhat more aggressive angles here. But this is a very patient and methodical start.
Yeah.
And again, it just shows the respect that both these teams have for one another, and it's just about that first pick. And really, eyes on marksman. If you do have that sniper rifle and get into an angle to get a shot off, could be the difference maker.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about like the chess game that happens here, I almost have to say, like, it feels like for XSET, you're the team that should want to make the first move, because this is the side of the map that we often see some of those pulls be maybe a little bit more difficult to grab. So maybe some onus then to try to force a little bit of early pressure as there is a battle happening over to the tunnel side. And yep, XSET are trying to get edgy into a position to try to pull, but Vanya right there with Sedet to find the easy response.
So that's going to be the opener, which may allow GG just to push up a little bit, and they will try, but Freezy has to back off because of the amount of damage he's taken.
Whoa.
And now we'll see XSET also lose one more.
And Ritual trying to force his way back into the convo, and the trades are good. So XSET stabilized nicely. Vanya also seen in the corner, taken down. That leaves space for Cold and Ritual to make the absolute first pull. There's no bubble here, so Ritual has to hit a shot, and he does. Picks up the flag just as it was dropped by his squad mate. Maybe a conversation of, do you take it, do I take it? And in that moment, Sinet almost able to find Ritual, but he's clear and free. He's going to score.
Yeah, he will definitely be scoring here, despite the damage that Cold has taken. Ritual will be fine. Cold just putting himself as a human bodyguard at that point as XSET take an early lead here. It's a very slow start, but as soon as they had that break, boy, did they push in and show that they have what it takes to get a flag back.
So that surely going to be conversating to this point that he's in a great spot with maybe a possible couple of eliminations to get a pull in hand. The Freezy also playing up top inside the XSET building. So those are the key positions. XSET dealing with it nicely, though. 3 will fall. Vanya, the last one to grab at mid-map. XSET can teamwork him out, and that seems to be what they're trying to do. But Vanya's very healthy, and now Hallie's into the picture as well. So really good response here. Even though GG don't get the pull, they still hold some mid-map control.
XSET had taken a lot of damage there, and I almost felt like Cold kind of, well, someone pushed forward and sacrificed themselves in a way and said, actually, I'll take the shields, I'll take the utility back so that we can take a fight straight 4v4 as Ritual trying to just do some initial damage here. It's the furthest up, but he will get pushed.
And here comes GG, really trying to force it over towards the front side of this XSET building. Cole just hopping, looking for information. Freezy low. He needs to keep his life here as the bubble player, but as he gets taken down, now GG would have to do this the hard way, and it will not fully work out. So that last one left dealt with by Muzz, and now XSET starts to make some quick moves across the map.
They are moving, and they will move very fast indeed through the middle, but I think they're going to get spotted out. It's not going to be a situation where they'll be pulling a flag here. It's about actually just trying to take space and get a little bit further up the map. 1 minute 45 still left on the clock in this half as well. So for XSET, it's just about not giving up too much space here.
Yeah, edgy in a good spot, but also vulnerable from being able to make a move up towards the high ground. Has to spend the bubble just to keep his life. Vanya in his way, dealt with quickly. Now it's just down to Holly. He found Cold from one side, playing on the hedges, takes down a second, and GG will hold defensively for now.
Freezy is going to be down towards tunnel, though, and a chance to push aggressively, but I think seeing where the spawners are on the tunnel side for XSET, he's just going to back off, join teammates, and see if they can make one last-ditch attempt at trying to get a pull in this half here, because with only 1 minute 10 left on the clock, it's probably only realistically the chance for one last pull.
Muzz actually spends the EMP here feeling a little bit of pressure from GG. It actually doesn't land. So now CTF making an extra step forward. They know Edgy's on one corner. Just comes down to, can they isolate? Do they know where Ritual is? He's playing very passive inside the windows for now, looking to see if he can catch a timing. Sees Howling on the jump up through mid-pool, but the hit is underway. And Ritual may be called upon to come back over, but he's actually going to fall immediately. CTF not going to opt to use the EMP on this bubble that's here in the front side, and that's enough for Edgy to find two. Muzz the third. GG not able to find a pull.
Maybe still time if XSET are really fast. You can usually get this flag about 15 seconds across the map, so you'd have to really push now and try and get a pull, but with the positioning from GG, they just go into defense mode here and should be able to hold off XSET, and we're more than likely going into half two at 1-0.
You got to be feeling pretty good about that, though, I think, if you're XSET. No real super big contest over towards your flag from the weaker of the two sides in a lot of regards, and you've been able to find yourself a pull of your own. CTF use the EMP, will finish things off just to make sure there's no one else to touch the flag, and we'll exit, like you mentioned, with a 1-0 half. But XSET's got to be feeling great about that first start.
I mean, big reaction, fist bumps all around as well for the team. It's just winning the half, essentially. But as you said, a 1-0 lead could be everything here after the initial round, because not only have you got a flag advantage, but if it does end up going to overtime after the tie, you then have that advantage in overtime as well, getting that initial flag capture.
Well, the bar's been set. What can GG do now as they flop over towards that mid-building position that can often lead to quick motion through tunnel? XSET putting a lot of attention over towards the backside at pool. Edgy just going to watch the long cave route. And again, the thing about this is, how long do you wait if you're GG? Like, is there any reason to wait longer than maybe you should? Because you're the one who has to make the first move.
I like how you said they flop over to the other side as well. It's not like they're purposely flipping over. It's like they're against their will flopping to the other side. But again, similarly to the first round, it's going to be slow, it's going to be methodical. GG trying to make a move as a 2 through the tunnel here, and it's about whether they can gain information through this shoulder peak.
Yeah, Cold, I like this spend. Just get the cluster out early. Dynamite sent back his direction. That actually does tag. Now, Ritual is over the top of this as support. Really good information gathering, though. Holly will use that as a way to actually take down Cold, and now the wrap is on. Ritual would have to hit a shot. Tracking back is Muzz as well. And the EMP misses. So hold on a second. Cold, timing-wise off spawn, gets his own trade, and that was a missed chance for GG.
He's like, oh, you thought I was done, but back from the grave, like a phoenix from the ashes, will come back off spawn, and now puts XSET in a position where they can start to gain control of cave side here and begin to think about maybe a pull of their own. If they can get the first pick, it's going to be Howley trying to contest, then maybe they can start to wrap. I really want to see a little bit more mid-coverage, though, from XSET here.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the more important thing now, after the last bit of exchange of gunfire, XSET have no shields left on the map. Maybe a chance here for GG to make a move. Buzzx trying to play for a bit of an off timing. That won't work out. 3 for GG. Edgy's the only one still alive. He needs to find this first one. CTF giving him a trouble, but the kill is in. Now it's just down to, can they counter bubble? Can they stop this pull from coming through? Freeze is able to get it out, but only so far. Last one left is Holly, and Edgy will once again stand tall as he finds the final 2.
Yeah, that's all on Edgy, you've got to say, because he was the last remaining player and he had no shields. Being able to win that initial 1v1, or at least do the damage for his teammates off spawn to help, means that XSET will hold on to this 1-0 lead and can push up and again take a little bit more of the map. And even if it's not a case of taking the map to get to cap, it's taking some of the map so it stops GG from having map control to get closer to your flag.
And that might be maybe the important strategy from this point on if you're XSET, is just be a thorn in the side, make life difficult for GG, just don't get 4 down all at once. And as Cold is able to trade things back through mid-map, the only thing going for GG at the moment is this play over towards cave side, but it has been dealt with, and now you've got Cold still existing in the middle of the map. That is becoming a huge problem for GG's offense.
Cold falling, GG continue to push on, but XSET more than happy to sit back defensively here and watch these angles. You're going to need something special, I feel, here from GG if they're going to get a flag capture, especially with Ritual holding this position.
Yep.
You really need to make sure that you kind of either bubble off that sniper rifle or find a way to shut him down.
The problem with that is if you spend your bubble to block off Ritual, you don't have it to block off the flag, exactly. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another. As Cold has been seen backside over towards the tunnel, he has done well to hold off this 1v2. And more so, he also finds the elimination onto Holly. The Frizzy was already out of there, and Cold will step up and say, all right, you want to give me tunnel, I'll take it. Thank you very much.
Bubble goes down, CTF also falls. And XSET, you know, with 1 minute 38, it's been job done so far. This is clearly the game plan, but look at this from Vanya. trying to go unseen.
Huge.
And that's one way to answer back with the sniper rifle control.
And that's going to be at least a pull. Has to win this out versus Muzz. Pistol late to the battle, but Vanya finds the elimination, and now the bubble is here. Vanya should be good to get through, but look at Cold. Cold is through, and he's going to, I assume, find the counter pull. Sure will, but Holly's there to meet him, and this is going to be a successful run back for Vanya. Nobody from XSET is near enough.
Said we needed something special. Well, it was something special. It was just something a little bit sneaky from Vanya. Gets the sniper rifle shot, denies that coverage of mid, and then also gets the pull. And even though it was a good attempt from Cold to get the counter, doesn't work out. And now, GG in the ascendancy here, and probably feeling pretty confident. It forces XSET to try and do something here, but at the same time, there is still OT, and technically, XSET would still have the advantage.
Keep your eye on the minimap. You've got Ritual and Muzz up on the top left-hand side, already controlling all of Tunnel. And if they can hold this position and catch GG on the rotation, it may open the doors for a possible entryway over towards Vanya's location. They need to clear him out of top house, though, if there were to be a pull for XSET.
It would have to be now as well. 24 seconds on the clock. You've got to move. If you are XSET, it looks more likely that they will have a chance to do so, and here comes the push.
Muzz able to find the opener. Frizzy also dropping. It's just down to Zed. Playing on the backside with Holly. Overwhelming numbers for XSET. They're able to find the eliminations that they need. Vanya spawns close towards Cave, but he's going to try to contest the cap. Can he find the elimination? May not matter. Ritual is stuck at the front doors, and there will not be enough time for them to get the capture. We're going to extra innings.
We are going into overtime, but as a reminder, XSET capped first. So if it stays at 1-1 after these 5 minutes, they will still win this map. So it again hands things over to GG to say, you still have to make the move, you still have to make the break. But they know they can make that break. All it took was just a little bit of individual brilliance, staying out of vision, and making sure they got an angle on that mid snipe.
The other important part about this is GG will spawn on the favored side here for overtime. So maybe a chance to utilize that advantage to counteract the initial pull and capture from XSET that gives them the edge if this were to go another 4.5 minutes worth of no score. So we'll see. It has to be GG to make the first move, and it looks like they're pretty much setting up for the exact same thing again. Double stack here at Tunnel, looking to see if maybe they can catch info on Ritual and then try to isolate Cold.
The more time that ticks away just plays into the hands of XSET here. They are more than happy to wait for GG to make the move. 2 over towards Tunnel, as you said. But there is going to be a pretty much direct matchup on that Tunnel side if they try and make a move. It's just about maybe distracting Ritual from that middle snipe position and then pushing Cold. But we'll see what GG try and attempt here.
The thing about this play for GG is that they're not trying to take down Ritual by way of counter-sniping. They're pushing Vanya forward with the pistol out. And I don't know how much I love that. You know, I get it. You're trying to maybe possibly find some sort of an entryway and say we can just find a quick scope on towards Cold, but it doesn't really fully work out. And as a Freezy tries to force something from the front, now XSET have numbers.
Well, XSET have also got tunnel control here on that left. You can see it on the mini-map. And it is going to be Cold versus Howley, a 1v1 engagement. Cold's got the better of him so far. If you get this elimination, maybe you can push up and get a flag, but it is going to be good defensive work from GG. At the same time, though, GG get a grab, and it's not going anywhere here.
It's just one of those things I think Cold gets to read that, hey, GG are hitting my base, let me hit theirs as well. Stop the reinforcements off spawn to be able to assist and just trust that your teammates can clean up the action on your side of the map, and that's exactly what unfolds. Little third-person Mexican standoff here. And the Frizzies trying to hold on towards this tunnel control. XSET nade out, does not connect, not deep enough. And Gaimin Gladiators are stacked up here right through mid over towards this tunnel cut. Huge.
Good shots under the truck here just to try and take the initial shields off of Cold, and will get the frag. So now GG do have the advantage, but again, it's just trying to get out of those sight lines from the sniper rifle, and it's a defensive bubble. That means no bubble available for the flag.
I just don't love that. Muzz is so even to that task. He just plays the staircase, no worries. The flag does get pulled here. Zed drops, and yeah, there's just nowhere to go. Vanya, the last one left, but he's completely overwhelmed and encompassed by the XSET defense. The trades are good, the numbers are good. Nefrizzi, the last one left alive, coming off respawn as the rest of the squad, but Nefrizzi through tunnel's in trouble.
It is a clear game plan from XSET here. They are pretty much just playing defense. It is a risky plan, but if executed, it could look like a brilliant one in hindsight, as now Howley does manage to get one on the elimination feed, but this allows XSET to maybe go for a little bit of a flankaroo here.
Yeah, Vanya trying to do the same thing on the other side, and hold on a second. It's successful for one, unsuccessful for the other. Muzz, a little bit of trouble. I will say the banisters of that awning were taking most of the damage there for a moment.
How's it still standing?
I don't know. especially in a game like Fortnite, where the environment is used to breaking all the time.
It's a tunnel battle yet again, and this has been one that XSET have been able to consistently win when it is 1v1 engagements, but that's a great nade going out.
Buzz holding on to one side with Cold nearby. Edgy on the other with Ritual playing a little bit of a further back defensive setup. DeFrizzy wins a 1v1 over towards this cave side. Cold stuck at pool with no shields. And Sined, I mean, we got Chal him out together, boys. That is a 1v2 for Cold. Poor timing on the double Chal, and XSET once again gained more space to play defense around.
1 minute 30 left on the clock. As a reminder, XSET have the lead through capturing first in that first round. So it is GG who have to move, as now Cold might get a chance at a flagpole here.
Sure will. DeFrizzy's on the way back, but you've got all of XSET through the middle. Oh, Sined actually spawns right next to Cold.
Ugh.
That's not what you want if you're Cold. He's trying to get it out the front door, but his teammates will drop it. Hold on a second. There's a chance for a counter pull here if they go quickly. Just don't get distracted. You just deal with Ritual, and DeFrizzy's going to have a pull here.
Yeah, there is going to be a pull chance. Spawns do come through, though. There is going to be a 2 versus 1 on that flag, but maybe there is an opportunity here for GG. Have XSET overstepped here?
Cold going to step in to the bubble with XSET. Here comes the final battle, maybe. Holly on the interior, not able to find much. Banya's still very healthy, but shut down by Muzz. And it's Cold and Muzz that lock things up for XSET. That was by far the best chance we've seen from GG.
39 seconds off spawn. You have to run, and you have to hold that W key. It looks like it's going to be a cave push, but XSET are there and waiting and expecting this one. Has to be a flawless amount of kills if you're going to get it.
Holly's only able to tally 1, though, and it's very low on HP. Vanya trying to re-wrap back around as XSET are pretty much just bunkered up inside the building. Shots off spawn from Cold. Ritual off the corner. No worries there. Defensive bubble is in, and that will clear out the entirety of the map with the exception of DeFrizzy and Sined, who have been seen. Nades are through. Eliminations are in, and XSET are vibing as they take the OT thanks to the advantage of capturing the flag first in regulation.
A strategy perfectly employed, perfectly executed by XSET. As soon as they had that flag lead going into not just round 2, but overtime as well, they just played defense and said, look, GG, show us something special. Show us that you can actually break our defense not just once, but twice. Credit to Gaimin Gladiators. They did break it once. Sadly, not enough.
Yeah, and I think the thing here, too, is, you know, for XSET, they took advantage of where they spawned, flat out. They start off in regulation from the favorite side. You get the pull, you get the capture. You force GG to then have to kind of play at your speed and your tempo the rest of the way through. And like you mentioned, they sure tried, but once we eventually get to OT, just not quite able to make things work. So really good stuff here from XSET to get the initial pull and have that small advantage. And I think it's just one of those things, like the prime example of kind of what I'm explaining out here, friends. So, you know, go with me. That 1v2 situation at the end where Cold is inside pool. You've got 2 GG members there. They know where Cold is. We have to hit that together. We can't have one and then another go afterwards, especially against the caliber of player that Cold is. He's so good individually.
Yeah, and I think that XSET kind of knew that individually they can match up against anyone on this roster, and they were happy to wait in the wings for the push to happen from GG. And if you look back against their results from day one against Dragons and Falcons, it was the same situation. It was a 1-0 victory on both of those occasions against a team like Dragons and Falcons. It is clearly a strategy that they are putting into play here, and they are finding a lot of success with it. They are now 3-0 on Chalet CTF.
And a margin of 1-0 every single time. I think most of those actually went to OT. So crazy scenes overall, and now we start to get to really see XSET's strengths. The hardpoint, the keeper, both of those very successful for them. Now, the only real caveat to that phrase is that both of the wins for XSET and hardpoint were both 250 to 244 victories. So maybe something to be desired in terms of polishing up the hardpoint if you're a fan of XSET. Where on the other side for Gaimin Gladiators, who may not necessarily be the greatest team at hardpoint here, a chance to maybe take advantage of not necessarily the strongest hardpoint team that's still in the tournament.
Well, I know XSET are heavy favorites amongst the talent, and it looks like the audience agrees with us. It is a 63% favor here. 1-0 at the moment, and I think what worries me is you talk about the strengths are arriving for XSET as we get closer to Keeper. If you get even further into this series, when we get to the likes of Chalet Hardpoint, which might be played multiple times, they're on the red side both times as well. So even if we were to see these guys like get back into it and fight back as best as they can against an XSET team that seems to be at their tippy top, suddenly you are then fighting against the odds in those Chalet hardpoints as well.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing about the Chalet hardpoint, it really comes down to the 2 tunnel hills that we have. And for a lot of our teams that are spawning from the right side, like you mentioned, they're the ones attacking the hill, but you get boxes control, you control the cut, you're forcing your opponents to have to hit off of a weird spawn through a choke point still to even touch the hill. So really convincing stuff, I would say, and generally why we often say that the right side is just favored flat out. So not gonna have that conversation yet, though. We've got Panther here for this map 2 hardpoint. So we'll see how things kind of come to be here on a more even battleground, so to speak, as we'll see. I think for Gaimin Gladiators, though, this is going to feel like a must-win map with Keeper still looming.
I mean, Gaimin Gladiators are on the red side for this one. It may not be as much of a one-sided affair when it comes to the spawn side here on Panther, but we have still seen benefits of being on said red side. So maybe that's something that GG can take away with their pick of side colors here. GG going to be on the red, XSET going to be on the blue, and the mini-map is going to have that east for XSET and west for GG.
Should be an interesting one. XSET, they're going to have the benefit of having the second hardpoint opening up for their favor, but for me, it's just about like what we've seen often from these North American squads, labeling XSET and XSET as the 2 that I'm really focusing on here, maybe not as much for teams like Fnatic or Dig, is that on their breaking attempts towards hills like 3, they're so good at controlling high ground in limiting the ability for Gaimin Gladiators to cleanly reinforce the hills. So we'll see if they can continue to do that. Otherwise, I think you're looking at a player like Vanya to see if he could single-handedly shut down those rotations with the marksman class out.
Excited to see what Ritual can do as well with a little bit more space here on Panther. It's going to be an initial battle in the middle of the map, as we often see for P1. What does Edgy have here to try and stop Howling in out of nowhere from above? And just like that, XSET gain control.
Can I just take a moment to like nerd out real quick?
Every single time, yes.
That is a beautiful setup from XSET. They toss an early bubble that they're not possibly even using as kind of their entryway, but it's enough for them to throw dynamite at it, clingers at it, and an EMP. XSET still have all of their utility, and they counteract. They're essentially using the bubble as bait, and it works out absolutely perfectly. That is absolutely big brain breakoffs from XSET.
Edgy just went down to 5 HP, by the way, stayed alive, got his shields back, or his health back, excuse me, and then was able to get another elimination off the back of it. So it is big time being picked up by XSET here. GG just haven't been able to break.
Well, now they're starting to get some control back over towards the statue position, but Sined not 100% confident that Muzz was still playing from this spot. And oh, actually, Muzz has gotten his ankles broken. He's got absolutely no idea where Sined is, and that's enough of an advantage for GG to find the eliminations they need. But it comes at a cost. The second hard point's already opened up, and XSET's already here.
XSET are there. GG are going to try and surround them from the southern side, though. But again, Edgy is there waiting, has the bubble available, and can just force them into the zone here.
Yeah, but the thing about this as well is that Cold is hitting a bit of a pinch. Cold's already found 2 from behind. Now he's a part of the play. That is so freaking good from XSET. You play it through the middle of the map. And again, it's one of those things of look at me, come kill me, and all of a sudden you've got XSET on your flank. Now GG have to hit through the middle choke point. This is not what you want if you're Gaimin Gladiators, and that's exactly why Gaimin Gladiators in the blender after 2 perfect setups from XSET.
And now GG, their spawns are a little bit staggered here, so they've got to be careful. If they keep flying in one by one, it's just going to allow more eliminations in favor of XSET. It is a significant lead for the XSET roster right now. Let's jump into a listen and see what they're saying.
Let's go, baby! Come on!
On the palm tree, right on palm tree, right on palm tree.
He's fucking
Okay, fine.
sniper.
Okay. Let's pick our first one. Good hit, bro. Okay, I'm mantling. 3, 2, 1, mantle.
Go.
20 white.
Watch red room.
Copy.
Red room copy.
I'm watching copy. Crack them.
Inside.
Fight that guy.
Spawn.
I'm giving you a bubble.
Guys, on site. Hit him 60.
Oh, fuck, I give him a bubble.
I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting.
Yeah, same.
I can go bar with amp.
Yeah. Okay, just clinker. Okay, amp, clinker.
I don't think they have a bubble.
Clinker.
Amping. I thought it was further, my bad. Just fight the bubble, bro.
Fight the bubble, it's only 2.
180. Nice.
We can push
on me.
Hey,
Okay, we set up for next now.
I'm playing back. Dead.
Dead.
Good
Nice.
On me.
Setting up for next.
Nice.
One's running on next. Left side, right here, Cold.
Okay.
Backside now. It might be 2.
Yeah, it is.
2 backside. And 1 close
This guy's
side.
on site, yeah.
You're right.
They're swinging right.
Class.
from XSET. You hear it in the comms. Wait for me, wait for me. Double chow this. 3, 2, 1 mantle. Everything is in sync. They're able to break open P3, and now wouldn't you know it, Dan, it's 10 seconds into the 4th hill, and XSET are still accruing time.
Yeah, it was the mantle call for me. Just, you are a little bit vulnerable when you mantle, so just communicating that when you're going to do it so someone can either cover you or push with you at the same time just makes it that little bit more comfortable as XSET gain control of P4 here, and now Gaimin Gladiators look to try and kind of pinch them here, but wow, now with the first already fallen, it opens things up for XSET again.
You have to have these timings locked in if you're GG, because otherwise you're just self-staggering. Vanya falls, CTF gonna be team worked out, and it's just so good from XSET. I mean, no one else in the tournament is showing me the same things that I'm seeing here from XSET. Flat out, they attack 2 straight hard points, and they're still dominating as they rotate back to one of their favorite hills.
Without a shadow of a doubt, XSET look like the best team in the tournament at the moment, but there is still a long way to go, not just in this series, but the tournament as a whole. P5, though, is going to be in control for Ritual once again on the marksman, with a chance to pick off anyone who approaches.
Nice shots, though, from GG. They got a couple players out of the backside of the hill. Now they can set up a little mini pinch of their own. Bubble challenged and dealt with nicely. XSET will spawn close, but this was clean from Gaimin Gladiators. Exactly what the doctor ordered. How is XSET trying to re-break this out? Both players are GG inside the hill. No shields to speak of. Bubble through. Vanya tried to challenge it. Dealt with quickly as XSET will get their re-break. Last one up to CTF, and he will drop immediately.
Oh, that was great flank as well from Ritual. He spawned over towards that eastern side, and he said, I'm more than happy to take the fight on my own. As long as you guys do the damage, I'll be there to clean things up. Now GG need to try and push from the middle of this map. If they want to push, they might already be thinking about P1 here, but they are so far behind.
Yeah.
Don't want to just give up free time.
I don't know. This is important time for XSET, but for Gaimin Gladiators, if you chow this and lose out, you're going to lose the game. So you have to get time here on P1, and Holly will very recognizably move back to make sure that that is the case. Now, the last members for GG had been dealt with kind of in staggered form, so XSET's going to be fully healthy with all utility and numbers trying to bully out Holly, and here they come.
Yeah, Howley with no shields means he's very vulnerable in the hill here and will get taken down by Cold. It's like replication here happening over and over again as XSET look to try and dominate this P1 once more.
It's unbelievably good. I mean, we haven't seen much that has maybe even think the words, but this is as close to perfect hard point as we've seen all weekend long. The Freeze even gets bounced out of his own bubble. Comes back towards the fight, though, able to assist onto Holly. Ritual also taken down and dealt with by Vanya. So now it's just down to Muzz. Last one left here for XSET, and eventually does get overwhelmed. Gaimin Gladiators looking like they're going to get past the 100-point mark.
At least put some points on the board and make a last-ditch attempt to try and stay in this game, but XSET are relentless with their push right now, really making GG work their hardest to keep P1 and maybe distract them from what's about to happen. We're moving to P2.
Thing is, though, GG win those fights so convincingly that everyone's back to full shields here. Dynamite over the top, Klinger also to the backside of the site. Muzz dealt with it, a lot of damage coming through, but XSET are finding eliminations that they need. 2 for 1 the exchange. Muzz in and out of the bubble, up and down they go, trying to find the final shots, and eventually the help is there to capitalize. XSET can win here.
I think that XSET basically looking over towards CGG saying, what are you even doing at this point? It almost feels like it's on easy mode watching XSET play with how comfortable they are with their rotations, with their chemistry, everything on point as they look to try and hold P2 for even more time. They just keep going and just relentless.
All I can think about is X gonna give it to you, and they're giving it to them good. 230 to 104. Still possibility for XSET to win it out right here. Holly trying to give it a try. Backside of the site can't double down. Maybe enough contest here if one more player can touch to send this to a new hill. But it doesn't look all that great for it. Yeah, there's going to be maybe 2 seconds left that XSET are going to need to find.
We are going to move to P3. It has to be flawless now from GG, but sadly, everything on their opposition side for XSET has genuinely been flawless from what we've seen. Unbelievable pushes, and they get a chance to do it once more as they push through the middle.
It's just unreal to see how much better they've gotten in the last 48 hours. Good EMP starts to come through, gives GG a chance. Vanya, CTF combining, and that's going to be 4 down. You cannot stay complacent here, though. If you're GG, you need to take space away because you need to create a buffer. You need to play the line of scrimmage that can allow you to soak up even more time and still win the rotation and new.
Yeah, the thing is, XSET can just kind of keep pushing, keep GG on their toes, and then set up for P4 if they have to, or they could just win it right here.
Well, it's the fight inside the bubble, and XSET will find the final elims needed. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What, are these guys loading in? What's happening here? That is unbelievably good. Unbelievably good from XSET. How you set up holds, masterclass. how you finesse the middle of the map to get pinches on when you're attacking and breaking hills. Perfect. I mean, it is chef's kiss, and boy, they're cooking right now.
Ritual saying, like, can they even hit their shots? Wait, is it just extra recoil on their guns? What's going on? They are feeling themselves. Our XSET, GG, very much behind now, 2-0, and it just seems like things are going to go from bad to worse here as we move into Keeper for map 3, which I'd argue has been one of XSET's strengths. They have kind of pioneered how to play this map and mode, so that has me worried for GG. But just look at the vibes on XSET. They know how good they're playing right now, and you can just see it in their emotions.
Look, I think the thing about it, and I'll throw on the coach hat real quick.
Go on then.
If you're any of the teams that are still alive, needing to possibly go through this XSET team, you better pull out some sort of a whiteboard app and start figuring out how you're going to draw up these break attempts. And I'll say flat out, XSET's timings, that's something that I won't say you can't teach, but it's difficult without having good concentrated focus as a 4-man squad. The other side of it, though, is how good XSET are about zoning the hills that they should be winning. They're setting up these multiple lines of defense that no one else has showed me at all this weekend. And that's unexcusable, because that should be the standard for everybody with $1 million on the line.
We've seen a lot of teams kind of just sitting in the hard point and maybe advancing slightly ahead of said hard point to try and get those eliminations. XSET are thinking outside of the box. They're thinking about where those spawns could be, what angles can we take to stop those spawners, to push us quickly so that we have an answer. And if we do go down, you speak about that first line of defense, we've done enough damage so the second line of defense, our hill holders, can finish off those players.
It's like passing of the baton. I'll be the first one forward. Oh, I've dropped. The baton gets passed to the guy inside the hill. If you can find that elim, take my spot. It's literally move and replace. Let the guy off spawn fill the gaps, pick up the pinch, get inside the hard point. That's just textbook. The thing that's most impressive, though, is what they're doing and how they're doing on the attacking moments of these hills. Their ability to zone off the respawns and force the team that's defending to come down a choke point. It's a masterclass. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. The other teams need to be watching, need to be paying attention, because otherwise we might be looking at a team that could just march through this tournament to a victory. I've seen a lot of predictions online, and XSET are often at the top of it based off what people saw on that first day, and it just seems to get better. And it might just seem like, oh, you know, we are just all about XSET. It's all about XSET. It's hard not to be when they're playing like that.
And here's the thing about it. Let's just, you know, again, go down the hypothetical road here that XSET clean sweep this Gaimin Gladiators team that had expectations of top 3 in their hands. What does that do when you're now facing up an XSET team that is not just perfect, but also saying, no one's touching us? And that confidence, well, you can't teach that, I'll tell you that much. We'll see what happens here as we go in towards our third mode. This is Keeper. Key will spawn mid-map. Try to control it, score every single second you hold on to it, trying to get to the score threshold of 150. We'll do that as many as 3 times. Need 2 to win the map. And Gaimin Gladiators have not shown us much to at least give me too much confidence that they're going to be able to best what we've seen from XSET to this point.
And what we were talking about with XSET kind of pioneering the way to play this map was they were one of the first teams to at least nail down a basement setup successfully in a way that they really just destroy their opponents through time and don't allow them to push because of the angles they watch when they get set up. So if you are Gaimin Gladiators, you probably want to keep that key away from basement and try and replicate what other teams have found success doing, is just rotating with that key on the other side of the map over towards tower.
And the one thing that I expect to see for XSET is not just their ability to innovate, but their ability to give good separation towards where the key carrier is versus where the team will be attacking from. Focus over towards Rich side here for Gaimin Gladiators. Doesn't turn out all that well, although they do get the initial pull. Edgy on the response, though, with Cold teaming up. The kills are once again perfect. 3 straight down, and XSET are controlling.
GG do get spawns, though, will stop XSET be able to move quickly towards that basement. So XSET is just going to have to fight where they are with this key, but Cold holds strong, and he gets to move over towards Ritual, and now they can begin to move to an ideal position to halt.
And this will be one of those spots that, again, not a lot of teams have found a lot of success with, but XSET continue to surprise us, and it's with eliminations like this. Vonnie, the last one left, doing a heck of a job, I'll be honest with you, but it's not enough to foil the control for XSET. Able to pick the key right back up. Holly off the close spawn does at least make some consideration occur here for XSET as Buzz is overwhelmed, and now you've got Gaimin Gladiators a chance to possibly recover.
Buzz gets overwhelmed, but make sure uses the utility quickly before you go down, so it's just going to be extra help towards your team. And now off the spawn, you've got shields, you've got utility. utility. XSET pushing again to try and take key control.
And it's just the amount of damage that comes through so quickly for XSET. Muzz is just teeing off on a crossfire setup. And XSET, once again, continue to show us something new. This time it's an aggressive zone around the tower position. Gaimin Gladiators finding some success through one side. Muzz in their way. Ritual also trying to get the sniper rifle in, and that's enough for them to clean things up once again. We've got a 40-point and more growing in the gap here.
They are getting pinched by GG in the moment, though, so it's not going to be an easy rotation with that key, but with that elimination, does open things up a little bit more for XSET just to gain some time. And look at the way that Ritual is moving around this map, and they are toying with them at this point.
And this is the other really fun thing about watching XSET is when they're down without any shields, Ritual knows he's got timing to get a free elimination and be right back into fighting form again. It's just, they're so aware of when they have an advantage and when they could take advantage of certain moments like that. Ollie, GG though, able to find their way back in. They break the setup, get the key right back. They will still be earning only 1 point per second though, so a lot of work to be done here in this next 2.5.
XSET, all four of them together, though, are going to be kind of death-falling towards the first members of GG to get the initial pick, and the second will follow. So now they can start hunting down that key holder to try and find some more time. Bubble will go down defensively, allow Vanya to escape here, but it's just a matter of time, you feel, until XSET find it.
Well, the thing about it is this is a lot of space between Vanya and the rest of XSET. The question will be, as these eliminations are coming in front of him, where do the spawns happen at? And Muzz will spawn relatively close to Vanya. Nefreezy does not. So Vanya's going to be forced to take a fight here, and he's at a disadvantage. And the EMP even lands. It's clean from Muzz, and it's that quick. It's that easy. Now all of a sudden, XSET hold control over towards this basement building.
That's one of the downsides of trying to continuously rotate either clockwise or counterclockwise around the map. The spawns will eventually get you, and you will get trapped by members very quickly as XSET tick over 100 seconds now. They are still doubling the lead of GG.
They're just not losing exchanges. The trade battles that are happening are pretty much always turning up in favor of XSET. I mean, it doesn't matter if we see it in first person, third person, fifth person. It's just every time we look at the battle, it's XSET coming out on top. And you're seeing it again. I mean, it's just XSET member on the left side of the feed. Through and through, time and time. It's another clean 4 down. XSET perfectly set up. GG does spawning close. Maybe a chance for one last push.
What is fifth person? Is that like when you're in your dreams and you see a bird's eye view of yourself?
Yeah, when you leave your body and you're watching yourself.
Fifth dimension. That's pretty much where XSET are sending everyone right now with how they've been playing. GG do put some points on the board, and they are getting the catch-up mechanic in effect, by the way. 2 points starting to tick. So there is a ticket back into this game with the clock on board.
They're holding this top right side of the minimap, though. That's where the basement is, so you have to have good utility usage here if you're GG. Do not allow XSET to toss their nades on in. Vanya, good read. Able to get in and out, taking care of Ritual, and now he's got space move back over towards this back barrier. Hold on a second. This is a great moment for Gaimin Gladiators.
40-point lead, but still 45 seconds were left on the clock, so this is still doable for GG. XSET realistically just need one break, though, and here comes their push.
And they don't even need to get the key back. They just need to make sure Vanya drops it, but he's so slippery. Hold on a second. Vanya's out of here. There is no one in front of him. Holly's going to spawn on the opposite side. XSET trying to chase him down, and they will. So now it's just down to any extra seconds that are tallied for XSET. Put this round out of question, and that will be the case as Muzz will make this mathematically impossible.
It got a little bit dicey there, didn't it? Almost like that catch-up mechanic really helped GG. I won't go into it.
You're a man on a mission.
I won't harp on it anymore. You know, I'm not going to challenge anything XSET do at this point, right? They are quite clearly the best team here from what we have seen. First round goes in their favor. And even though there was a little bit of a late scare from the Gaimin Gladiators, they just left it a little bit too late to get back into that one.
It's just like, I feel every time that a 4v4 starts to unfold in the map and XSET come out victorious, it's like another breath that leaves the lungs of GG. Like, you can just kind of feel them starting to, you know, get a little bit down. They need something to inspire some confidence. Vanya, early bubble, tries to grab the key and get out, but XSET just EMP it, throw one of their own, and now Edgy's already scoring for XSET.
Has that seed of doubt already been planted in the mind of the Gaimin Gladiators here that maybe this is just one step too far for us? They've already secured $40,000 as a team, but they would love to double that into $80,000. But at the moment, it looks like XSET are going to be the team that does that with how they've been playing, and it is already an early lead, and they have, for the first time, gained control of basement here. Let's see whether GG can break it.
A little bit of a dicey battle in the basement. Eddie and fan of Inglorious Bastards know that you should never take a battle inside the basement. Not a fun place to fight, but Gaimin Gladiators do well. Able to the key in good hands for the most part. Muzz and Edgy trying to challenge from one side, Cold from the other, and how about this? Gaimin Gladiators deal with both simultaneously. Now they've got an exit pathway to find some more time.
I do like just getting that key out of basement, though. Don't let XSET get that perfect hold, but this form will allow for a fight to ensue. XSET will get the better of them as well, and Ritual now just looking to close things out and get this key.
Vanya trying to gain some separation, not going to happen. Ritual will collect, and XSET will get back into their scoring ways. GG, though, up top, right above where Ritual is currently holding inside of barrels, finding a couple of wins, or at least some trade fights that are not nearly as convincing as we've seen from XSET, so they're trying to take the battle down low. But every time we start to see a 2v2, 2v3 situation, it's Cold for multiple eliminations in the feed. He has been a major difference maker for XSET.
16 elims for Ritual as well, just waiting to try and 3-piece, even get an angle with that sniper rifle, but no one going to push. On the flip side, for GG, it's about trying to break once more here. Just needs someone to get the opener. Vanya has been able to get a double, so he will push in, but Ritual, again, is at least able to trade out one, which means off spawn, XSET is still going to have a chance here to repeat some of their kills.
Yeah, Sinet trying to get over here to help, but he has also been tagged up at mid-map, so once more, it's Cold with the elim. Edgy right behind him. That's enough for a trading of the hands with the key. And wow, even from that live shot, you can see XSET is just pumping in the comms. I mean, they are getting fiery. And I think that's just, again, one of those moments you look at and say these guys are super confident that they're just going to win this thing right here.
And you heard from the interview as well, XSET said they knew they were going to be playing at midnight. They made sure they got their rest. They made sure they were prepping, made sure they were well fed so that they would be ready for this engagement and this fight against Gaimin Gladiators, as now XSET will have control of basement. I said that. They were at the basement, did not have control yet.
And Freezy, though, does take a sniper shot to the back. Follow-up is good, though, for Gaimin Gladiators. Big moment here for GG. How long do they choose to hold over towards basement side? Holly trying to rotate this just a touch closer over towards the ridgeline side. And it looks like they've gotten a read that XSET is spawning front mid. So they're going to make the full wrap. Try to get over towards the cliff, or at least that half wall. Holly try to gatekeep inside the cafe, and that's enough for a couple for Holly. GG still holding on nicely.
30-second the difference. Making now 20, so GG still in this one. 1 minute 48 left on the clock as well, and they are fighting well together. You have to give credit to GG, even though for all that we've said XSET and we've praised XSET, GG are keeping this one competitive and still trying to give their very best battle.
Last one left is Sinet, and Ritual finding the last shots needed. Key will be left in a very awkward spot just over the top of this wall. But GG spawning from one side, XSET the other. We're going to get a meeting of the minds here just outside this back cliff area. Muzz kicks us off with a double. And how about more for Muzz? He's going to get 3, maybe a chance for all 4. Stolen away by Cold, but still give him credit for all the damage dealt. XSET looking good to get above 100 points.
Is this going to be too much now for GG to come back from? That was maybe their chance if they won that engagement. And now we get over towards this hold. We have seen this a little bit from KC as well. Hold over towards the windows. GG, though, will recover the key, and they are still just about in this.
Yeah, but Vanya is the last one left, and he's just trying to find an exit. There's none available. XSET may have been a little bit too far away from their key carrier, but they're so quick to bounce back and get into fighting for him. Now the map starting to become very unfavorable, and the challenges that we're starting to see from GG, well, the way we like to say about this is that they're losing composure pretty quickly here. Mathematically, it has become impossible for them to come back into this title, and that means that XSET is going to 2-0 the keeper and go up 3-0 overall.
And that means that XSET have still yet to lose a round in keeper so far this tournament. Still yet to lose a map so far this tournament. They are still unbeaten going into the final map here, potentially as they have the chance to move into the semi-finals. But of course, there is still a chance for Gaimin Gladiators to get a reverse sweep. But right now, with how XSET have been playing, that seems like a stretch.
I mean, Cold is just icy. Can I say that? Is that okay?
I think so.
Oh boy, what an addition Cold has been. I mean, when XSET made their move through DreamHack, they were playing with Trashy, who, to be fair, is a very solid player in his own right. But the pickup of Cold has been, I think, what's really turned this XSET team into a major championship contender. I mean, legitimately, his ability to take over a map may be unrivaled here in Riyadh.
I think it was in scrims, seeing the difference in hardpoint for XSET and how much Cold was able to add in a game mode where someone who does frag that hard can make such a massive difference. And you called him out a few times with some of the moves that he was making, the kind of flanks that he had to try and get some of those frags as well. Just had XSET in such an advantageous position. But now they find themselves 3 to the good here in the quarterfinals as we look back at some of the highlights from Keeper where they are still undefeated, are XSET.
Yeah, the only other team that can say the same thing is XSET now. Undefeated in Keeper, and they haven't lost a round either, so that could be what we see for potential grand final now. Well, I don't know.
Who knows at this point, but
Yeah.
how KC played today, I'm still excited to see what KC can do in that semi-final, but certainly, I called it earlier, I said XSET would get to the grand final, and maybe I'm more confident in this call after seeing these 3 maps.
Well, the interesting thing about it is, like, looking at how they played Keeper in day 1, I was like, all right, cool. But then 2 different 250 to 244s where I didn't feel particularly strong about how they were holding hills. Maybe they were finding great success breaking, but like their holds weren't all that great. I was like, they're, maybe getting a little too cute in their hardpoint, but that has been completely counteracted today. They were perfect in hardpoint, and their CTF has been, at certain rates. I mean, we watched them play Dignitas at the North American qualifiers. It was a very slow game that they played on Chalet, but seeing it in action against other major competitors from around the world and finding success the way they had, I will say I am firmly a believer that this XSET team will not just win the series, but they have a chance to not, do some major damage in the grand finals.
My worry would be if XSET went behind in a CTF, and if they weren't the team to capture first, right? Because every single time we've seen XSET play Capture the Flag, they've captured first, and then they've just defended afterwards. What do you do if you don't get that first flag cap? Maybe we'll find out. But at the moment, they are just a dominant force here, and GG are very close to having their key crushed.
Definitely feels that way, but the life is not over yet. It would have to take 4 maps in a row, though, and if you don't take it by my voice, I'm sure you saw it on my face, it brings a natural grimace, just due to the fact that that is a tall task to ask versus anyone, let alone as a team like XSET on the other side.
Yeah, I think that going into this break, you saw the players just kind of heading back to their rooms to have a little discussion. I mean, someone on GG needs to say, hey, look, it's not looking great, but there is still a chance. Doesn't matter if it's a 1% chance, 2% chance, right? GG have shown moments where they look like a brilliant team, right? Not just in this game, but the games we'd seen previously in the tournament. If they can find that little bit of perfection and implement it in every single area, I know it is still a stretch. It is doable here, right? And maybe you can bank on the overconfidence from XSET as well.
Could be a thing. We'll come to find out, though. We're going to head off to just a brief break. When we come back, we'll have CTF again for map number 4 right after this. What's up, all you beautiful people? We're back. A 3-0 tally at the moment in favor of XSET. And well, for Gaimin Gladiators, the life may have been completely leached out of their lungs at the moment after a very dominant Keeper. They would have to find a way to bounce back on the CTF, the hardpoint, another Keeper, And then another hard point. Not looking particularly great for Gaimin Gladiators.
I'm trying to like find something. I'm like, you know, the 1% that they can have. Let's be realistic here, all right? I genuinely believe that XSET are going to take a fall right here. I think that they have looked too good, and even though Gaimin Gladiators have had those moments where they looked great as well, XSET just seem to be one step above them.
Yeah, I mean, the last 48 hours, it looks like the team is just clicking even more so than they were in the first day. So for Gaimin Gladiators, you got to find something that is you, I think, in this series. Because at the moment, you've been playing XSET's game in every single map. You have to come out, score first, like we talked about in the CTF, and play your game. Don't allow XSET just to do whatever they want. Force them to have to make adaptations and changes. Because at the moment, every trend, every pattern has been set and started by XSET.
I think the trouble is, everyone else's game is based on XSET's game because everyone's been learning from XSET with how well they've been playing with their practice leading into this tournament. So trying to find your own identity is tough here.
Well, 3-0 versus Dragons Esports. Again, a tight series for what it was. 3-0 versus Team Falcons. Same can be said. We're dealing with 1-0 CTFs, 250 to 244 hard points in both those two series, and then 2-0 keepers because, again, no one's touching them. And then you go over to what we have so far, of course, still 3-0. So they're 9-0 overall in maps. No one else can say the same thing. And that, I mean, again, when you talk about setting a tone for the entirety of the tournament, let alone this match, XSET has continued to lead the way. Also, for what it's worth, they power rank across just about every single mode as the #1 team here. So they're doing it everywhere, which is what you would figure with a perfect map count. We head on in, though, for another CTF. This time it's on Panther. Anything you're looking for here for Gaimin Gladiators to start this map off right?
Get that first flag. Don't allow XSET to go into defense mode and just destroy you by having the lead going into overtime, potentially, if you can even get a capture. But sadly, it's easier said than done. I think you would need XSET to kind of drop the ball majorly if you're going to get back into this series. But I'm still excited to see what GG can do. Maybe that little break is everything that they desired to try and get back in this series.
And let's see if there's anything kind of groundbreaking here from XSET in terms of how you play this map for CTF. Because a lot of the maps we've seen to this point with them have pretty much purely been on Chalet. So is there something that other teams haven't figured out yet when it comes to Panther? Hard to say. I'm hoping so, because I'd love to break it down.
And do XSET want to keep things up their sleeves a little bit?
Well,
will we see XSET just maybe only be at 75% in this game? Because you don't want to give up too much. If there is some extra strategy you found, because these modes are still very new to all of these players, you don't really want to show your hand this early, especially when you have a 3-0 lead here. So maybe we won't see anything too crazy from XSET in this game.
I think looking at how this map has played out so far in the weekend, just kind of off the cuff spitballing here, we've often seen that once a successful pull comes through, the route to take is the longest one possible to get it back to your flag, mostly because it's the safest. Is there an opportunity to win the middle of the map so darn convincingly that you can actually pull the flag back through mid and stop the counter pull from happening? Because often what we see is a 4v4 fight through mid or close towards one flag or the other. One team loses it out. The quote-unquote defenders can actually beat the team on offense back to their own flag point. So is there a way to shut that down? That's what I'm curious about.
I would say yes, you can run the flag through middle if the timing is correct. You have to win the fight as you are pulling the flag before those spawns happen, and then actually you can run this flag pretty quickly back to your base. But then you just need to be on your toes about where those spawns are going to be, because if there is even a slight spawn that is a little bit further up that map, as you mentioned, they might be able to get to your flag first by taking that outer route, or just get a nade on you. That's what kind of scares me with any of these flag runs. The grenades can shut you down in an instant if you've taken some damage whilst grabbing.
Is there anything in your mind, coming from the background that you come from, of, hey, it's okay if you know, get eliminated with the flag in hand if you drop it here, and we can just get off spawn and then refight for it before they can actually touch for the return? Because let's be honest, a lot of the battles that we've seen through mid on these return pulls have been at range. So even though you might get taken out of the picture, the defense isn't actually close enough to touch the flag and return it.
Chaining flags is definitely something that happens in other competitive CTF titles, but the big difference is the return time, even if it's not touched. It's quite fast here. Still not fast enough that you can't grab it. Like, it's definitely doable. So yes, I would say if you were good enough as a team, you could run that flag middle and say, it's okay if you die on the run as long as you get to this point.
Yes.
We are going to be waiting around this corner, then we can grab it. Because we've seen it happen a couple of times on Chalet as well, getting it around that initial house bit of the corner, going down, but then someone's waiting by the car, and then they're the next. And sometimes that's been the infiltrator who's then even faster on that run. There is a lot you can do with CTF, and I think we mentioned this on day one. We haven't really scratched the surface of strategy when it comes to a lot of these maps and modes, but we're now starting to get there with teams like XSET who are thinking outside the box a little bit. More so than just we run, we shoot our guns, we win the fight.
I think in any game when there's new modes that are introduced, new maps that are introduced, you say, hey, look at this spot. This is, you know, the first layer of the onion, so to speak. And it seems like the easiest thing to do. Like, for instance, Keeper, Basement, looked so strong in day number 1. And then we all of a sudden see a team that goes, you know what? We don't want to take that roll of the dice of, is our utility better than theirs? Let's put the key in a spot that doesn't get taken down by Nate so easily. And that all of a sudden becomes the meta. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Because I think that's probably the next big question here is, like, how important is this Panther statue fight right from the get-go? But then when we're returning flags, no one's actually playing through mid anymore. So I think that's probably what I'm looking at in terms of, you know, kind of the hot take is, you know, run the flag through mid. If you drop, you drop. We'll be there off spawn to help you out and try to play recovery again instead of just playing this neutral standoff where we have to go 3v4 for the rest of the game trying to get our flag back.
We'll have to see if XSET have anything innovative on this map and mode, or whether they are going to keep their cards hidden for now, and maybe they'll show something new a little bit later on in this tournament. Because right now, they look the more likely to go into the semi-finals, but Gaimin Gladiators are still in this one. It would have to be a reverse sweep starting here.
And it will be XSET just watching over towards the low ground at mid initially. Holly just kind of creeping his way forward towards that outside cafe. Gaimin Gladiators will hold some early control of the statue. Muzz nearby is the one kind of watching it as, interestingly enough, Edgy and Cole, they say, let's see if we can kind of isolate Holly out. Bubble goes down. Holly not there to respond as that actually just funnels him right back to Ritual's direction. And here we go. We've got XSET clean in the feed. XSET last one left with the Frizzy, and as they both will drop, there's an opportunity for a pull here for XSET.
XSET moving on in. Holly's the first to spawn. XSET's also going to go down, and XSET now will go into the base, but Holly does get one, but it is traded out, and now the flag will be pulled.
Yeah, Muzz trying to take this around the outside. Cold here to play a little bit of gatekeeper, and Muzz is gone. But keep your eye on XSET in the minimap. Top middle side. He's what we're talking about. His ability to come off spawn and then just run over towards the other side to try to get the counter pull. But Ritual's guarding it. He's able to hit a snipe and follow up. Holly takes down 2, but Muzz is going to safely retreat this back in. First capture once again goes to XSET.
Oh, they get the first flag. Cooler here. Let's go. Done. Game over.
He's got it.
XSET go into defense mode. GG got to try and break. GG go next. It will feel like, no, it is a bigger map. There is more chance for GG to get back into this one, but what we're seeing from XSET at the moment is pure domination as they are continuing to get these eliminations and continuing to push the narrative of we can get multiple captures. We don't have to sit on a 1-0 victory.
And the thing is that they could keep bullying out this P5 location by the fire pit. There's no way for Gaimin Gladiators to come back over and stop the pull, which is underway again by Edgy. Vanya has to force something. The Frizzy also there, but now Muzz is following up on it. Edgy's just going to wait on this back staircase to make sure he's safe to get this pulled in. Well, he's got enough help from his teammates. Already 2-0 up for XSET. Runaway map.
There's a red flag, there's a blue flag. My question, is there a white flag at this point? Because I might start waving it with the way that XSET are playing. 2 minutes and 53 left in this round. And GG are just in defense mode. Their tails seem to be between their legs. XSET are just running out of the disrespect now we're seeing from XSET. They don't care where GG currently reside.
The other way you could say it is the way XSET are playing the map is a green flag. Well, we're running out of flag colors, guys. Don't worry, we're done. But XSET aren't. Nade's on the way in. Edgy trying to get the pull. Holly nearby. And it's free patio control. I mean, Gaimin Gladiators, we need to shoot back. We need to start taking some of these positions because flat out, you cannot allow Ritual and Cold to have this high ground setup. It's just too easy. Ritual now through the middle of the map has eyes on Vanya. XSET doesn't win the 1v1 versus Cold, and it's another pull with nothing but daylight in front of him.
Is going to be able to run this one comfortably and should be a guaranteed capture because Ritual and Edgy are going to be in position to stop the spawners of GG. Vanya's going to try and chase it, you can see on the mini-map, but he's not going to get into a position to do anything either. This should be 3-0 if not for a grenade, but no grenade in sight. 3-0, 1 minute 50 left on the clock. Can we see a 5-0 in the first round? That would be nuts.
We very well may. I just need it to be said as well, and again, if you're curious on it, go back And look at just the mini-map. XSET have rarely not controlled it. This is the only moment they really haven't, and it's just because they were helping the capture come through. So GG, this might be their best chance. If they can take down Cold on one side, force the action with numbers over towards Muzz on the defense, maybe they can get a counter pull, but the longer this takes, the more you start to feel like XSET are in the right position to deal with it.
I mean, if XSET can defend a game when they have a 1-0 flag capture, right? Just think about what they could do at 3-0, but they have now pulled another flag, have XSET. So all the meanwhile, whilst all this fight was happening, they said, well, actually, we'll just grab the flag yet again, and it looks like Ritual is on the move with it, and this should be 4-0. We might see a 5-0 in the first round.
In the first round, my guy. Oh my God.
Wow.
What do you say? Because Muzz is there, by the way. He's got a 1v1 with Holly, who is very healthy, and Nefrizzi will make sure nothing else happens here. But legitimately, XSET have just dominated the middle of the map. And you want to talk about what confidence does? It's not a tangible thing that we can really commentate on fully, but let's be honest, Gaimin Gladiators are playing scared.
Well, I would be too, with how XSET have just been winning every single fight and literally double you keep. Look, there's always another player. You take a fight and the bait and switch is constantly on for XSET, and they continue to march forward to try and look for this 5th and final cap. They've got 25 seconds left. Can they do it here in this first round?
Cold is, dude, yep. Dude, I mean, what are we talking about? Cold is not being responded to. Disrespect coming through as Muzz tried to find the final pull here, but it's a 4-0 first round. And yeah, I mean, vibes are at an all-time high right now in the XSET camp.
This is worrying times for everyone else in the tournament, it has to be said. GG were touted as a top 3 team coming into this one with a lot of predictions that I saw. Well, certainly a team that could go as far as the semi-finals. But it looks like the quarterfinals is going to be as far as they go because of the gentleman on your screen now. XSET are 4-0 up and 1 flag capture away from the semi-finals. Another guaranteed extra $40,000 and the chance to play for even more. Of course, the lion's share of $1 million prize pool here.
I think the thing that's been really fun, though, about watching XSET play this map is not only, of course, are they dominating, but how they're setting up these attacking approaches. It's Muzz and Edgy who work the initials. Once that happens, then you've got Cold behind to play cleanup, and Ritual's the pivot man. He's just sitting at mid, where he currently is, just kind of third-personing these walls. Gets a 1v1 versus Vanya, that he misses his opening snipe, so a chance here for GD to get on the offense, but Cold's right behind it. Again, it's just the layers that XSET create, both at hardpoint, what we're seeing here now in CTF. It's just so dominant. CTF trying to find some way to get some extra action, and that will work out, and they're going to get some patio control because of it.
I mean, I think the thing is what's more impressive is XSET make it look so simple and so flawless when they do it. That flag is going to be on the move, by the way, for Gaimin Gladiators. Muzz does get one, but CTF seems to have got far enough to have a chance to put this one home. Cold is going to be the closest competitor to him, though. Can he shut him down?
That's Holly's on the response for it. So, okay, very well done. Holly making sure that no one from XSET off of that topside spawn can get over to contest. Good pull from CTF, and that's the power of playing off that topside patio position over towards the pool. Really well done by Gaimin Gladiators. Can they start to put them together, though? Mid-map control still being fought for as XSET find the first. Holly very low. One shot will do it, and it will land. Ritual off of a couple in a row now as XSET hold numbers at mid.
Just rubbing salt in the wounds. You only need to shoot him in the body, but still connect with the headshot as now XSET again are controlling top middle. Vanya is going to be the next in the crosshair as XSET look to try and put this final flag in. It really has been a dominant performance from XSET and a very impressive one, and one that I'm sure we will be dissecting for the next few hours as we finish this game.
It's just, the utility is just flat out perfect. Edgy, Ritual going to make sure no one for GG can move back through. Only way that GG defeat this play is with Nefrizzi and CTF playing through poolside. No one's here for XSET to actually meet them. Cold on the long route is going to have an assistant with them. Ritual's trying to stop this play, but GG are actually in a pretty decent spot trying to fight this back, although I say that and no one can actually get through in time. Maybe a couple of shots, yes. Follow up, the touch is in, and whoa, hold on a second. The return is in, and Nefrizzi's on the run.
Did anyone actually get the touch again on the other side for XSET? That's the biggest question, but now that flag is still going to be in the hands for GG. So still life in this one just yet. Just when XSET thought they were home and dry, Gaimin Gladiators are still holding strong here in this game.
And Muzz, Cold are already making plays up towards the GG base. Ritual also finds an elimination onto CTF over through the mid-map. So for Vanya and Howley, they're trying to get here with Nefrizzi to find these eliminations and score a second time. EMP out. Muzz able to find the counter pull. Cold also finding a double. This could be how it ends as Muzz is gone. There's no one that could contest this. Edgy and Cold have cleared out the GG base. This will be a 5th score here for XSET.
Yeah, you can see that the flag was returned, and now it's just a lap of honor here for XSET as they look to close this game out.
Unreal stuff, man. Just, I don't want to play these guys. I don't want to see, this is gross. Legitimately, this is as perfect as we've seen all tournament long.
5-1 lead, and Gaimin Gladiators, they're just going to have to watch as XSET continue to march forward in a dominant force. And sadly for Gaimin Gladiators, I mean, they had a very strong start to the tournament. After their initial 3-2 loss, they bounced back so successfully that we thought maybe they could have a fight through this bracket. Sadly, they've come up against an XSET roster who just seem to be at their very best. But my question is this XSET's very best? Is there another layer deeper than this for XSET? Is there more in their playbook? Because if there is, we should be looking at the champions of this tournament because they have looked better than anyone else.
I think the thing about it is, like, if you were to beat this XSET team, you have to beat them at their own game, which it sounds like we're framing in the form of, like, XSET are just far and, you know, leaps and bounds better than everyone else here. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I just think that GG didn't understand how best to play these modes. XSET have done their homework. They have set up perfect elements to their holds on hills. They're knowing exactly when they can challenge certain parts of the CTF. They've innovated how you play keeper besides just dropping the key into basement. You need to sit down as a squad with an overhead view of these maps and throw down the hypotheticals of what is the best spot to hold, how do we use that to score, no matter what the mode is.
Well, as I said earlier, it's just a victory lap at this point. XSET already knew there was not really time for Gaimin Gladiators to get back into this game. So much so, they didn't even bother capturing the 6th flag. They just decided to sit next to it. It has been all about XSET as they will confirm their victory and move on to the semi-finals here at the Esports World Cup featuring Fortnite in one of the most dominant performances we've seen so far.
Go to bed. It's after midnight. That's it? Is it after midnight?
It is.
It is, okay. I lose track of time out here in this little booth that we're in.
It's like a different world.
It is. Wow. But I mean, again, if you're playing XSET, whether it be tomorrow or maybe potentially for a grand finals, let's just go through it really quickly. You better have your holds online for hardpoint. You better know the most efficient way to break hills when